The 6 o'clock news starts right now.
It is a lot of OT, 96,000 hours of overtime. That's what Bexar County commissioners approved today for uniformed officers at the jail. The $3.9 million request only covers the final 4 months of the fiscal year. And Garrett Berger tells us commissioners want to find a way to avoid these requests in the future.
It's a move that staff say could put the county 39% over its jail overtime budget for the year. While county commissioners approved it, they did so more resignedly than readily.
And how do we get to the point that we need to get where we're not expending taxpayer dollars time and time and time again? Because I will tell you, it is an exercise in insanity.
The sheriff's office is required to keep certain staffing levels at the jail. Sheriff Javier Salazar attributes the need for 96,000 hours of mandatory overtime, at least in part to issues like COVID protocols and a large jail population.
I know for a fact there's a couple hundred people in the Bexar County Jail right now that are only there simply because there's not another place to take them. They should be in a mental health facility somewhere.
Looming over it all, though, is the perpetual issue of understaffing. As of June 17th, there were 190 vacancies at the jail.
We're seeing folks right around the 2 or 3 year mark that are heading out. They're either moving to another agency that's higher paying, or they're just moving on to another profession altogether.
Commissioners are looking to find a way to fix the staffing issues at the jail long term. Precinct 3's Trish DeBerry recommended a consultant.
To be able to work with you all to figure out what are proactive solutions regarding manpower allocation, staffing, inventive ideas on what we can do.
Commissioners decided to add that to a meeting in the future. In the meantime, Salazar hopes a new contract under negotiation with the deputies union will help in the retention efforts to make the job more appealing. Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
Another big story we're following tonight. The long-distance stalemate continues between Texas House Democrats in Washington, D.C. and the Republican colleagues in Austin, who today voted to track them down, although DPS troopers don't have jurisdiction in the nation's capital. In a historic move, House Democrats say they will stay in D.C. as long as it takes. Without a quorum, the Texas House can't vote on a revised version of a bill on a voting bill that Texas Democrats defeated after their last walkout. Although some of the contentious issues were taken out of that bill, they say others are still in there. Yet a San Antonio lawmaker says there are Republicans who won't say publicly how they really feel about the voting restrictions, while some say they're willing to negotiate.
They'll say they don't like it, but they have to vote for it for political reasons. They're trying to keep the governor happy. He's trying to keep Trump happy.
Again, we want to make it as open, as accessible as possible. We've increased the hours. If there's more tweaking and revision needs to be made, let's sit down and discuss and get it done.
But until that happens, Texas Democrats say they will keep pushing for federal legislation that would limit states from enacting their own voting laws. And new at 6, more than 6 months after a deadly shooting on the north side, Bexar County deputies arrest the man indicted for murder. 34-year-old Kevin Lee Perez, taken into custody early this morning in North Bexar County. He was initially arrested last December after 35-year-old Arnulfo Adrian Cortez was found shot to death in his own vehicle at Moss Rock and Robin Hill. At the time, deputies say Perez randomly fired a gun several times, hitting Cortez, who happened to be driving by. Cortez found with a gunshot to the upper body and head trauma. Perez arrested after getting a tip on his whereabouts. Day 2 of testimony in the capital murder trial of Otis McCain, who's accused in the deadly shooting of San Antonio Police Detective Benjamin Marconi. Among the witnesses called today, the man who Detective Benjamin Marconi had just pulled over before he was shot. Erica Hernandez in the court all day and has more on that testimony. Erica.
Well, Ricky Martinez was visiting San Antonio with his family on November 20th, 2016. He stated on the stand today and recalled the moments he was pulled over by Detective Marconi. Now, Martinez nervously described the quick conversation he had with Officer Marconi and then said the officer went back to his vehicle and he awaited. While he was waiting, he states he noticed in his passenger rear view window a black car parked behind Detective Marconi's patrol unit.
Just sitting in a black male just ran up to the cop car and just shot fired. I was scared because I don't know if he was going to try to come and shoot us too or whatnot.
Now, Martinez ended his testimony stating how his visit to San Antonio was then cut short because of the shooting and that it had left him traumatized. Now, testimony was also heard from a Via bus driver who was driving by at the time of the shooting. Now, a break was called after a jury member appears to have gotten sick. Now, this is the same juror who earlier in the day walked out after seeing video of the shooting. Now, evidence was heard without the jury, and Judge Rangel will later decide if that testimony will be admissible. Court will resume tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Live at the Cadena Reeves Justice Center, Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Erica. And of course, you can follow that entire trial live streamed on KSAT.com. To other news now. Speed believed to be a factor in an overnight crash on the far northwest side. The SUV crashed into the backyard of a home on Babcock Road, not far from Chase Hill Boulevard. As Katrina Weber reports, police found debris everywhere from the ground to the top of the tree.
This is the aftermath of an SUV that San Antonio police say was going too fast for the curvy road, coming to a dead stop. It was traveling north on Babcock Road near Chase Hill when it left the road around 2 this morning. Police say it rolled onto its roof, barreled through a backyard fence and hit a rock, sending it airborne. 3 people inside went flying too. They were ejected. 2 died on impact. Paramedics tried to save the third one, but couldn't. A 4th person who a neighbor saw stumble out of the wreckage was rushed to a hospital in critical condition. The neighbor says they all appeared to be men in their 20s. The man who lives in this home told me he woke up to what sounded like a train, and when he looked out the window, he could see the top of the car high up in the tree. The bottom half landed between those 2 trunks. It took hours for police to collect evidence and then for a crew to clean up. The homeowner says while this is the worst case he has seen, it's actually the 3rd time a car has landed in his backyard, and a neighbor has had 6 crash into his. Each time he says the drivers were speeding. Police are still investigating this crash. Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
In other news, a driver facing charges after police say they drove away after hitting a car and a woman on the side of the road late last night. It happened in the 600 block of WW White Road about 10:30. According to police, the woman was standing next to her stalled vehicle, then the car hit her, didn't stop, and actually drug her down the street. After all that, officers say the driver didn't stick around. The injured woman was taken to Brooke Army Medical Center. She's listed in stable condition. Hours after the crash, we're told the driver actually showed up at the East Patrol substation and turned themselves in. A traffic trouble spot for 2 days in a row. This is 281 South at Loop 410 West. It's a little different angle than we normally give you, but the reason traffic is backed up on both the ramp and on 410 itself, there is a traffic accident at McCullough and Loop 410. That's what's causing this backup. Well, be they man-made or natural disasters, the Texas A&M Engineering Extension Service, known as TEEX, has training for first responders. To do it, there's what they're calling Disaster City, built after the 1995 bombing of the Murrah Federal Building in Oklahoma City. Located in College Station, TEEX has recreated almost every possible disaster that could occur around a city. Realistic-looking train derailments, tanker explosions, collapsed buildings, and more, all modeled after what can and does happen almost anywhere. First responders from all over the world come here for training. It's why TEEX and the Texas A&M Task Force were on standby after last month's condo collapse in Florida. Jesse DeGugliato now with a vivid example of the realistic training that goes on in Disaster City.
Even first responders from smaller communities come to Disaster City.
Got it. It's really the only one around that we have available to be able to put our skills to use.
If it weren't for the Texas A&M Engineering Extension Service, or TEEX, Eric Rodriguez says they'd have to use a building back home.
We don't have collapsed walls and tilted walls and collapsed ceilings and things like that, and full-scale rubble piles and vehicles in the rubble pile to be able to lift and move.
Here, TEEX recreated ruins of a parking garage and a multi-level office building.
This is all too realistic. This was all made to seem as if this was actually someone's office when the building collapsed.
A scenario to meet their training needs, like going through a steel wall.
If it didn't work very well, we can do it again until they feel good about it, until they get it right.
Here, they had to cut a hole through concrete for a camera to locate a victim buried in the rubble.
Search and rescue! Can anyone hear me?
The canine handlers, trained a few weeks ago by Christy Borman with Texas A&M Task Force 1, actually aided in the search for victims in the Florida condo collapse. They were using dogs like Gunny.
Getting to watch him use that nose to find people that we can't see is an amazing thing. You found him. Good job. What a good dog.
A simple reward for finding the seemingly impossible amid this type of chaos. In College Station at Disaster City, Jesse Degollado, KSAT 12 News.
What a resource for training. Now we have much more about Disaster City and the other training offered by the Texas A&M Engineering Extension Service, posted on our website right now at ksat.com. Let's take a live look outside right now, and I was thinking maybe the haze wasn't quite as bad today.
It wasn't. You're
okay.
right. Yeah.
I thought maybe it was my imagination because I'm looking at this shot and it's still out there.
Well, you know, that's also because there's high humidity and we do have some Saharan dust still out in the air, but we have seen improvement. We won't see it return until this weekend. Now, the aquifer is up an astonishing almost 9.5 feet since the 4th of July. Thanks to all the rain we've seen since then. But we have been able to see molds go down. Molds are only low at 310. Pigweed is low. However, it's going to be interesting because we did have some rain today to see if that mold number goes up. Here's a look at how the day stacked up. We're having beautiful, mostly cloudy cirrus skies out there. It should make for a pretty nice sunset. Today, the high was 89, 6 degrees cooler than average. Look at where we were last year, 107 degrees last year. No rain officially at the airport, but we did have rain around San Antonio and in some of the suburbs. I'll have a look at those rainfall estimates coming up in a bit. And of course, looking at summer showers for the remainder of the week after the break.
An increase in COVID-19 cases in rural communities has health authorities boosting up efforts to get more people vaccinated. We'll tell you who's helping out at 10.
And new at 6, screening for genetic disorders can mean the difference between life and death for children across the country. Spinal muscular atrophy is one of the diseases that, when caught early, can be treated. Courtney Friedman explains that's why it's officially been added to the mandatory newborn screening in hospitals across the state.
Faith Fortenberry turns 10 next month.
I like to swim. I swim a lot, and I also like to do arts and crafts.
Typical summer activities for kids, but Faith's journey has been anything but ordinary.
They discovered that she had spinal muscular atrophy type 2. And at that point, you know, she was already 17 months in and had that much time of muscle wasting, and there weren't any approved drugs or treatments.
Faith's mom, Leanne, says now there are several treatments that can prevent or stop the disease.
Many of our friends who were screened and started treatment within days or weeks of their child's birth, they don't really show any symptoms of SMA.
That's why SMA was just added to the regular newborn screening exams in the state of Texas.
In the early onset or type 1 SMA, the majority don't reach their first birthday, unfortunately. Children lose the ability to breathe independently or to swallow or to even sit or ultimately even ever to walk.
Dr. Barry Byrne is the chief medical advisor of the Muscular Dystrophy Association, which fought hard alongside families to get SMA added to the Texas newborn screening list.
The fall of 2019, we actually flew to D.C. and met with several of our representatives about how important it is.
Starting June 1st, hospitals across Texas began routinely screening newborns for SMA, a big win for this small but mighty advocate.
At my age, they could be really walking good by now, and it could be like they never even had SMA. It's like I think that's really cool.
Courtney Friedman, KSAT 12 News.
Sky 12 this evening over the Alamo. And like much of Texas, at least South Texas, it's very green down there, and that is a good thing. And like I said, we've been trading off temperatures for humidity so far this July. Sarah.
That's exactly right, Steve. You know, we usually see our first triple-digit day by the end of June, on June 30th. We have not seen 100 degrees so far this year. And if we continue to get these outflow boundaries like what I'm anticipating over the next couple of days, we may get through the month of July without seeing 100. So let's talk first about today's outflow boundaries. We had the sea breeze kick off a few showers. Here's what happened. This was right at about noon. You can see those showers down to the south. Stinson was at 91, dropped to 78. The airport was at 89 and dropped to 74 as this rain-cooled air moved through. Interestingly enough, there was no rain reported at the airport. Rain did not fall at the airport. It did across parts of northeastern Bexar County and into Comal and Guadalupe County, but everybody got the rain-cooled air. If you didn't get the rain, you got the rain-cooled air. And tomorrow we're going to have some more sea breeze showers in the area, but I don't think the coverage will be quite as widespread as it was today. So here's a look at that rainfall totals, the rainfall estimates rather, from the rain that we saw. Again, notice the big old hole through the center part of Bexar County, but out near Converse, an inch of radar estimated rain, an inch and a half nearly to the west of Seguin. And again, areas near Hondo did not see any rain. However, Karnes County, Karnes City, there was some street flooding from about an inch of radar estimated rain and an inch in Lavaca County as well. And then we had plenty of rain up near Kerrville, about half an inch of radar estimated rainfall. And the only remaining rain in the area is out in Edwards County right now, where we are seeing a few flashes of lightning remain from some storms that are falling apart as we lose this daytime heating. Again, Rock Springs, a few flashes of lightning and some moderate rain, but nothing severe. So for the rest of the evening tonight, we're going to see the sun set at 8:36, and it should be mostly cloudy tonight with temperatures only in the 70s. So feeling pretty nice outside, but just a little bit humid. Now, we're seeing the rain because we're kind of have an upside down weather pattern right now. A wider view of the weather pattern, we've got a high pressure system over the Four Corners region and a high pressure system over the Atlantic. Now we usually see this big blue bully, this heat high right over us, but it's over the Four Corners region, 108 in Las Vegas, 106 in Phoenix. And that is allowing for the sea breeze to be the main mode of rainfall chances for us. The sea breeze is cooler and more moist than the air over land, and so it fires off some showers in the afternoon, and we're going to see that tomorrow as well. It'll be isolated to widely scattered, but in the morning should be quiet, cloudy, muggy, all of that which we're used to over the last couple of days. And then in the afternoon we'll be watching the coast because we're going to see some of those sea breeze showers try to push towards San Antonio. Again, the chance for rain about 20 to 30%, so a little bit less than today. 73 and cloudy as we wake up in the morning and head out for the morning commute. 20% isolated around noon, 30 in the afternoon, 90 for the high temperature, and very similar day to today, but just slightly less coverage. Southeast winds at 5 to 15 miles per hour. Warmer off to the west, 96 near Del Rio for the high temperature, 93 for Laredo, only upper 80s for the higher elevations, the Hill Country and Canyon Lake. As Steve was mentioning earlier, the Saharan dust has thinned out a little bit and it'll continue to do so through Thursday, but it does look like by Friday and into the weekend, we're going to see another plume of Saharan dust move on in, and this one again could be a little dense, causing allergy-like symptoms, and we'll keep you up to date on what the air quality is going to be like when Friday and Saturday roll around. One catch with the quote-unquote cooler temperatures than average is that the heat index is still going to feel like 100 though because of the high humidity. So it's not going to be cool by any means, just cooler than average.
I see that weather map and I just want to get out the pledge.
Yeah.
Just like get out the dust, to get all the dust out of here.
Clean it all up.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah. All right, Jerry Jones is always optimistic that this is the year the Cowboys make the Super Bowl. But the optimism seems to be coming from more than just the owner this year, Greg.
Well, you need a running back, a star running back. In this particular case, Ezekiel Elliott. He's coming off his worst year ever in his career. Is this his bounce back year? When we come back, it's part of our Cowboys' top 5 priorities before we head to training camp 1 week from today. And Southside High School state ranked coming up.
Pro football coverage. Powered by Davis Law Firm.
1 week from today, the Dallas Cowboys arrive in California to return to their training camp in Oxnard after being banned from travel last year due to the COVID-19 pandemic. To get you ready for our coverage of camping with the Cowboys, we've been going over the Cowboys' top 5 priorities going into training camp. Today, we feature running back Ezekiel Elliott. Cowboys must get Zeke back to his production of 2016, 18, and 19, where he rushed for over 1,300 yards each season. After having his worst season as a running back with the Cowboys last year, he's coming off a career low 979 yards with only 6 touchdowns and only averaged 4 yards a carry and just over 65 yards a game. And worse yet, fumbled the ball 5 times, lost 4, which is a career high. Some of that can be explained by Dak Prescott being part of only 5 games due to his horrific ankle injury and the injuries to 3 of the Cowboys' top offensive linemen, Tyron Smith, Lael Collins, and Zach Martin. Smith missed all but 2 games last season after undergoing neck surgery. Collins missed the entire season of finally having surgery on his hip, and Martin was in and out of the lineup with injuries, playing in only 10 games. Training camp will also be the first time we hear from Zeke since he's kept away from any interviews during the OTAs and mandatory minicamps because of legal problems he has due to his dogs getting loose. Texas Football Magazine is hit the newsstands with Judson High School's own DeMarvin Leal as part of the All-Aggie cover this season. On Monday, we broke down the top teams in the state in Class 6A, according to Dave Campbell's Football Magazine. Today, 5A, both Division I and Division II. And we start with the Southside Cardinals, who are the highest-ranked team in Class 5A Division I, number 22, in part because they have quarterback Richard Torres as one of their 5 players back on offense, 6 on defense, of a team that went 9-2 overall and 5-1 in district. Torres announcing just weeks ago he's committed to play for Nebraska. In Class 5A Division II, the highest-ranked team out of the top 25 is Bernie Champion, with 12 starters back off a team that went 7-3, 4-1 in district. So in the 5A rankings, let's start first Division I. There's Southside at 22 and Division II, Bernie Champion at 15, Alamo Heights at number 24. The Milwaukee Bucks will look to get even with the Phoenix Suns tomorrow night when they host Game 4 of the NBA Finals. That's after they rocked the Suns in a rout in Game 3, 120-100, behind Giannis Antetokounmpo's second straight game of over 40 points. Besides the outstanding performance of the Greek Freak, the Bucks' success also was on their defense, limiting Devin Booker to just 10 points on just 1 of 7 from the field. Can they do it again is a big question.
Booker, I think, lots of different guys guard him. He's a great challenge, keeping him off the free throw line, keeping him off the 3-point line. I'm sure he'll be ready to go. We got to be ready to match, that going into the next game.
Now, one of the reasons for the Suns' loss in Game 3 in Milwaukee was points in the paint. Phoenix outscored them 54-40. I should say Phoenix was outscored, most in part because of the aggressive play by Giannis. But another contributing factor was the early foul trouble on DeAndre Ayton that cost him a big man in the middle, limiting him to only 24 minutes of time on the court. What can his teammates do to protect him more from being targeted by the Bucks?
He's a big part of our team, especially he's the anchor of our defense. I feel like any team would love for him not to be on the court offensively and defensively. So, we got to protect him better, and make sure that we're showing that wall.
All right, Game 4, and in fact, the NBA Finals don't even resume until tomorrow with Game 4 in Milwaukee at 8 p.m. An Olympic exhibition today in Las Vegas. Team USA looking to bounce back. So far, so good, leading Argentina right now 73-48 in the third. Highlights for you tonight on the Night Beat.
That's the Team USA people were expecting.
Yes. Yeah. Let's hope we see more
so
of that.
Far. Yeah. Thanks, Greg. We'll be right back with Mayor Ron Nirenberg. In 1 week, we have seen Bexar County's COVID-19 positivity rate go from a little more than 5% to more than 11%. And joining us in our KSAT Q&A today, San Antonio Mayor Ron Nirenberg. Mr. Mayor, I appreciate the time as always. Talk about the positivity rate, what you're seeing, and how concerned you are.
Sure. Well, I think it's important that we distinguish what is happening now with the infection rates and cases of COVID-19 from what we saw in the summer last year, as well as the fall. This is not a surge the way we were seeing it before. 99.9% of the cases that we're seeing nationwide and here locally are from unvaccinated individuals. People who are vaccinated with both doses, or in the case of the Johnson & Johnson, the single-dose vaccine, are immune largely and have the resistance that would help to fend off any major infection, any major illness, including that of the Delta variant. So we are seeing some rise in the numbers, minor rise in the hospitalization numbers. We're seeing some increases in the positivity rate. But let me put this in context for you. The entire state of Texas has seen similar numbers. We're about 11.5% positivity rate in the entire state of Texas, and that includes here in San Antonio. As a matter of reference, when the last time we had an 11% positivity rate was back in January, where we had 6,000 cases per week. The 11% represents just about 900 cases this week. And then that means that testing is way, way down. People who are getting tested are largely, they think they have it and they have severe symptoms in some cases, but largely are the unvaccinated. So the bottom line is we need to put this in proper context. We need to continue to do our part. COVID-19 is still here, and the best thing we can do to end this is get vaccinated.
Is this frustrating for you at all? Because this is not like this wasn't predicted. I mean, if it was basically predicted, if you don't get the vaccine, you're not going to be able to fend off the variants of COVID-19 that are coming.
It is a little frustrating, and that is because we do have people in our community who can't get vaccinated, and particularly young people who are not eligible. So if you're eligible for the vaccine, and there's plenty to go around, it's free, it doesn't require insurance, it doesn't require an appointment. If you are eligible to get the vaccine, go get it. It not only protects you, keeps you out of the hospital, but it also protects you from becoming a vector that could transmit it to someone who is ineligible, a young person, a person who is, unable to get the vaccine. So we want to make sure that everybody has access to it and is able to get it. And that is the case here in San Antonio. We're going out of our way with partners in the community. The Spurs have hosted a couple of events, including one this coming weekend at Toyota Field, where you can go see San Antonio FC for free if you get vaccinated. You'll also be entered in a chance to win a 10-game package to see the Spurs. So we're doing everything we can to protect each other from this virus, and that means at this phase of the game, get vaccinated. We're doing a great job overall. Again, we exceeded the federal goal of 70% vaccination rate. But we still can do more and get those vaccines out to folks who haven't gotten them yet, and that will protect the young people in our community. And we need to do that if we want to get schools back open and healthy and full speed in the fall.
Yeah, it's not too late to get a vaccine. All right.
Absolutely not.
You signed a letter with some other governors about infrastructure and some of the other things that you think are important out there. Talk a little bit about why you signed on and what you hope is accomplished. I mean, this is something that was sent to the White House, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right. Myself and all the mayors of the major cities in Texas wrote a letter to President Biden this week that urged the passage and the congressional passage of the American Jobs Plan, not the infrastructure plan that's before Congress right now. And that would be an infusion of investment into infrastructure that's been in disrepair for a long, long time, thereby helping improve our communities at the local level, but also create jobs and get people back to work, have economic activity in a safe and productive way for our entire country. We think it's a very important step for our recovery and to get our economy back and booming again in an equitable manner that allows for our communities to be improved. So we sent that letter this week, and we are urging the passage of the infrastructure plan that's been laid out by President Biden.
What would this infrastructure plan mean for San Antonio?
Well, the rules have not been completed yet, but likely what that would mean is that there are grants that we normally go through for federal infrastructure, whether it's transportation, parks improvements, health infrastructure, and we would work with our local partners to make those proposals and help to have federal matches so that we can get those projects started immediately. A lot of people are really impressed with the improvements that happen along the San Pedro Creek and the improvements of the San Antonio River corridor. A lot of those projects were done in partnership with the federal government through grants done through the parks programs, as well as our Department of Transportation. So major infrastructure projects from here to, from both sides of the United States are done in partnership with several different layers of government working together in partnership. And that's what we're asking to be done at a historic level, which is the proposal that's been laid out before Congress.
One iteration of this infrastructure bill that I saw proposed rail lines between the major Texas cities. Is that still part of the plan, or was that cut as part of negotiations?
It's still underway, and rail is part of the transportation proposals that are in the infrastructure plan, multimodal transportation. So some of those proposals that you might see are intercity rail transit between cities like Dallas and Houston and Austin and San Antonio, and basically connecting the Texas Triangle. But a lot of those proposals won't come forward until this plan has been passed. There's other modes of transportation, including highways and our roadways, bicycle infrastructure, our parks, linear creekway programs that would be eligible as well, including our public transportation system. So we all stand to benefit. Every American stands to benefit from the passage of this bill that would help to create jobs as well as improve the nation's infrastructure that has been in disrepair for a generation.
San Antonio Mayor Ron Nirenberg, always appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us.
Good to be with you, Steve.
Kind of being my co-anchor. We'll be right back.
Conceivably, we could have to replace the pavement. There's just no doubt about it. A fire that hot is just going to really render that pavement brittle. It won't stand up as long as we want.
It looks like it's going to take a lot more than clearing away the wreckage and sweeping up the glass on a Michigan highway after a tanker fire and crash caught on camera. It happened yesterday near Troy, Michigan. The fuel tanker carrying more than 14,000 gallons of gasoline and diesel fuel veered into a highway median, flipped on its side, and there you see the flames. Amazingly, the driver got out with only minor injuries. The wreckage burned for more than 2 hours. Several miles of I-75 shut down as firefighters worked to contain the fire and eventually put it out with foam. Parts of the highway closed. The Michigan Department of Transportation checked out the damage. A fire that burned so hot, it damaged the pavement.
That's incredible.
Can you imagine that? All right.
No.
It is 80 degrees outside right now. And this haze, you talked yesterday about some of the problems it can cause.
Right. We do have some light Saharan dust in the air, and it's actually going to dissipate over the next couple of days, at least briefly. It can cause allergy-like symptoms at times, but that haze is also mixed in with some of the humidity out there. I want to show you rainfall so far this month in San Antonio. It's been good to us. July has been good to us. More than 2.5 inches of rain. That is almost 1.5 inches above the average for this time of the month. Since January 1st, we've clocked in more than 20 inches of rain, which is more than 2.5 inches of rain in a surplus. Unfortunately, Medina Lake is not responding all that well. The watershed is just very small for Medina Lake, still 35% full. But Canyon and Corpus Christi Lake look good. The rain has really helped out in those areas, up 4 to 7 feet. We do have more chances for rain in the next couple of days, but I'll detail that coming up in a bit.
Listen, I love macaroni and cheese. I do not know what to make of what we're going to start the buzz off with tonight. Kraft's newest macaroni and cheese item, creating some buzz, a limited edition ice cream. Kraft said in a statement it wanted to combine two iconic comfort foods. The brand teamed up with Brooklyn-based Van Leeuwen Ice Cream to produce macaroni and cheese ice cream. Kraft says the new ice cream has no artificial flavors, preservatives, or dyes. How's that work? Kraft macaroni and cheese ice cream can be ordered on Van Leeuwen's website for $12 a pint starting Wednesday while supplies last. It's also available at Van Leeuwen stores nationwide. By the way, the closest one of those to us is in Houston. Macaroni and cheese ice cream. All right, we began the buzz with comfort food. Let's talk about a fast food classic now. Today is National French Fry Day. Whether you like the classic curls or crinkle cut fries or an American staple, the expression French fried potatoes, first seen back in print in 1856. One story goes that the term French was introduced to potatoes when American soldiers got to Belgium during World War I and tasted Belgian fries. French, the official language of the Belgian army at the time, so the term French fries was born.
Friday on a Tuesday.
Education.
There you go.
Friday, Tuesday, and no Adam Caskey here to roll his eyes about National French Fry Day. So I appreciate you joining in on the effort there, Sarah.
Well, yeah, every day is Friday if you really want it to be. So, all right, let's take a look at the radar. We still do have some lingering rain on the radar, especially in parts of Edwards and Kerr County. You can see that shower there in Kerr County and western Kerr County. But the rain and the thunderstorms that were over Rock Springs have fallen apart. And we did have a few storms around San Antonio today, but it was very scattered in nature. Not everybody saw rain, but everybody around San Antonio at least saw rain off in the distance. Here's a look at the 12-hour rainfall totals. Now, there was plenty of rain out in Karnes County. They got about an inch of radar estimated rain and some flooding issues there, minor flooding issues there. But look at how streaky this rainfall was. This is a look at rainfall totals. Anywhere you see the greens, like up toward Kerrville, that's radar estimated of nearly almost a whole inch of rainfall. Uvalde, which has missed out on a lot of the rain over the last couple of days, got a decent amount of rain. And then zooming into a neighborhood view of Bexar County, New Braunfels, Seguin, they got some good rain as well, but you can see the hole right here just on the east side of downtown San Antonio, all the way up 281 and even out toward I-10. Those folks did not see any rainfall, but areas near like the Schertz and Selma region, again, half an inch to an inch of radar estimated rain. All of this formed along the sea breeze, which kind of acts as its own frontal boundary and fires off a few showers. And we're going to see that tomorrow as well, but the coverage will be a little bit less than what we saw today. For the remainder of the evening, temperatures will be in the 70s. It'll be a touch muggy, and we'll see clouds increase after midnight. Now, 89 was the high temperature today, 6 degrees cooler than average. 107, though, is our record, set all the way back in 2020. Last year, we were at 107 degrees. I don't know about you, but I'll take highs in the 80s over highs in the triple digits any day. Now, looking at the satellite, we are seeing those clouds start to thin out a bit after that rain-cooled air moved in. You can actually see the outflow boundary right now working its way through Valverde County, and temperatures are a mixture right now. Rain-cooled in Rock Springs at 68, but it's 91 in Del Rio where there was no rain. All right, our weather pattern is very interesting. I've been saying this all day. It's upside down. We usually see our heat high right over us in the middle of July, but it's out across the Four Corners region, and we're kind of sandwiched between these two high pressure systems. That's creating a little bit of an opening for the sea breeze to act and allow for us to see a couple of isolated showers in the afternoon tomorrow. Starting off the day with cloud cover and then partly cloudy skies. Will be a touch warmer tomorrow because, again, I don't think coverage is going to be as great, but we're still going to have isolated to widely scattered showers and even a rumble of thunder in the afternoon. Not worried about severe weather. 20% at noon, 30% around 5 p.m., 90 for the high, southeast winds tomorrow at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Isolated Thursday, Friday, but then unlikely over the weekend. So we'll be able to enjoy some summertime activities outdoors over the weekend. We've had to dodge a few showers over the weekends past, so it'll be nice to start planning that weekend and spend some time outdoors. Just the Saharan dust plume will likely return by then, and allergy-like symptoms are possible with that, Steve.
All right. Thank you, Sarah. In case you missed it, coming up next. Here's today's ICYMI.
Good morning. It is Tuesday. It is July 13th.
San Antonio police investigating a man's death. His body found this morning in the 14,800 block of Watson Road. That's on the southwest side. Investigators say a homeowner of a property found the man laying on his back in a bushy area next to his driveway. His cause of death under investigation. SAPD says it's unclear whether he died of natural causes or was a victim of crime. Crime Stoppers need your help in solving a murder case. 22-year-old Troy Lee died last month after he was stabbed in the 6100 block of Ingram Road. It happened on June 28th in front of the Hilltop Oaks apartments. Investigators were called to the scene for a report of a shooting. Instead, they arrived to find Lee unresponsive with life-threatening injuries, which he later died from. If you have any information, call Crime Stoppers at 210-224-8255. STOP. 20 days of searching, 95 people found dead, 14 people still unaccounted for. That is the latest in Surfside, Florida. According to Miami-Dade County Mayor Daniela Levine Cava, a total of 14 people are unaccounted for, but 10 bodies are waiting to be positively identified.
As much of the country crawls out of the pandemic, some areas seem to be right back at square one.
The health system is in jeopardy once again of getting overwhelmed because of the rapid climb in the number of cases.
In states where less than half of the population is vaccinated, weekly case rates are 3 times higher than areas where more than half is vaccinated.
Tomorrow's going to be very similar to today. Weather coverage, the rain coverage will just be a little bit less, about a 20 to 30% chance for rain. Isolated on Thursday and Friday in the afternoon as well. Saharan dust does return over the weekend, should cause allergy-like symptoms for some who are sensitive to it. Most of us, however, will just be trying to beat the heat. We'll be in the low 90s, but it'll feel closer to 100 over the weekend.
Weird to see 2 days with no chance of rain.
Yeah.
When's the last time that happened?
At least 8 days.
We'll see how the night be.